I got a little different background than many of the people here. I was with SOG, had 4 tours, and you can see I got mementos from those tours. And I was contacted last year by some of your pilots that had actually flown missions for me. And of course these were reasonably hot missions, prairie fires typically. And so I got them to tell me the stories. I'd been writing poetry for many years and written several books. And I had not written a poetry story about helicopter pilots. And I literally felt that this was the war the helicopters and the airplanes fought. The ground guys were there, but they always called on help. And they didn't tangle as much as we like to believe, and even in the movies. So it was a helicopter war. And the people that got shot at the most were the helicopter pilots. And they did it routinely. Every day was a day that they went out and were expected to perform their duties in a valorous fashion. And they did it, for the most part, 90-some-odd% of them. All of us had a few flakes, even us Special Forces guys. So I'm going to tell you a couple of stories as which related to me and that I put into poetry. And they're up on a website, epoetryworld.com. And this one is about a guy named Jack Haslin. Some of you may know him. He was a captain at the time, and it's called Jaws of Death. A Special Forces operation was surrounded. They had 5 seriously wounded, and they needed to evacuate them before they could fight their way out. I was Blue 1, the mission commander. My job was to pull out the wounded. I had 5 lift ships plus gunships. This mission is a hot exfiltration. The friendlies are deep within enemy territory, trapped on a mountainside. The enemy had them cornered and was waiting. They knew a helicopter rescue would take place. I launched our package of lift ships and guns. The forward air controller was working air. Phantoms were diving in and bombing the enemy. Any aircraft fire was coming out of the jungle. The radio was chattering directions. Blue 1, you are cleared in now. The pickup site was a hover hole. I dropped out of the sky in a corkscrew approach. Enemy fire shattered the front canopy window. My co-pilot was bleeding from the face. How bad are you hit? Can you still fly? I'm okay, let's get them out. In we went, bullets lacing the ship, a hanging touchdown on the right skid. Wounded, loaded through the right door, the rotor blades clipping the branches. I see an enemy machine gunner in front of me, ankle chained to a tree and aiming at me. My left door gunner opens up on automatic, blasting the enemy from his killing perch. Wounded on board, lift up and fly away. Enemy gunfire tears our ship apart. I'm bleeding power and going down. Blue 1 going down. Mayday, mayday, mayday. I see an opening on the Ho Chi Minh Trail below. I'll land on the road and we'll fight from there. I auto-rotate in with the last element of power. We hit hard and bounced twice. Everyone out. The crew grabs their machine guns and ammo. I grab my automatic rifle and pistol. The enemy is all around. They are running away. They are afraid. They think we are attacking. The chase ships come in right behind us. They quickly load the wounded on one bird. My crew and I jump aboard the other bird, and it's up and away from the jaws of death. Now, unfortunately, Jack's not going to be here, and I'm trying to contact a guy named Bill Reeder. He's not in the audience, is he? Panther 36. This is Dusty Cyanide. And I was contacted last year by Bill. Now, I don't want to steal your thunder, and I have this trilogy, and if I say it, will it steal your thunder?
No, go ahead.
Okay, because I can go on, and this is about a gentleman that's here that I had support me when I was with a parachute battalion that was surrounded, and we were in the Easter Offensive in '72. We had 3 divisions coming in the attack. We had the 320th Division coming at us, the victors of the Dien Bien Phu, their elite division. And we'd already lost 2 of our battalions, overrun. I was the 3rd one in the blocking force, and we needed help, as always, from the air and from the chopper guys, the Cobras, the Panthers, the Cougars. All tough guys, all heroic. This one is the Bill Reader Trilogy, and it starts off with Dance of Death. Panther lead, this is Dusty Cyanide. Dusty Cyanide, this is Panther lead. I have multiple targets for you, all 51 caliber machine guns. Panther lead was given locations, advised that the guns were all hot, and that the gunners were eager. He flew off into the sun to set up. I watched him come out of the sun. He was targeting the high gun first. He flew straight into the gun, blazing away with his minigun. From the hilltop, the gun opened fire, the green and red faces crossing. Then the Cobra fired his rockets. The gunner and the gun vanished in the explosion. 4 times I watched this performance. It was a dance of death between gunners. The North Vietnamese lost this fight. 4 gun crews destroyed, 4 guns taken out. Dusty Cyanide, this is Panther lead. Be advised, running low on fuel, and I'm bingo on ordnance. Enjoyed the hunt. Do call on us again. The second in the trilogy is called Cobra Down. Ben Het was surrounded, and the tanks were in the wire. The situation was critical, and resupply was necessary. Into the breach once again, flying protective cover for a resupply mission. Suppressive fire got us in. The resupply birds landed, kicked off the ammo and water, and it was up and out of there. Enemy fire riddled our ship. My Cobra now in flames and no longer flying into the ground with a crash. Fire soon to engulf us. Blood and wounds, disregard. Crawl out before it explodes. Get away from the crash site, for the enemy is all around. The Cobra explodes its fuel cells. The ammo cooks off, and I crawl. I'm dazed, bleeding and broken, crawling away from burning death. And the third section of this trilogy is 3 days and 3 nights. It's titled The Long March North. 3 days and 3 nights I hid in the jungle. Wounded from shrapnel, only able to crawl slowly. My escape from the enemy, it ended on the 3rd day. I was covered with leeches, wounds festering, not able to walk. Interrogation was brutal. And after a couple of days, I was marched to a prison camp, a bamboo cage in the jungle. Others were there in prison, some even in worse condition. Little food, no medical care. Soon we began to die. In time, a group was formed. We were to march north all the way to Hanoi, a journey of many months. Many did not make it. They died of jungle disease. They died of untreated wounds. They died when the day was done. My fellow prisoners gave hope when all seemed hopeless. With difficulty and help, I made the longest of journeys. And that's the end of the trilogy. And Bill Reader, this is the first time I've met Bill. I've been looking for this name tag. And I watched him, and the whole world stopped in this battle when these Cobras went at the 51s. Of course, each side was rooting for the other side, and incredible.
John, a pleasure to meet you. This is one of America's heroes. John was the U.S. advisor at Fire Base Charlie in the Central Highlands in the Easter Offensive of '72, and for his action that day, he received a Distinguished Service Cross. Was wounded multiple times, and anybody who was in the Highlands at that time will remember the fall of Fire Base Charlie, one of the biggest battles in the Vietnam War. We have never met before. It's my honor and privilege.
Well, I'm here to meet you. I have several other poems, but I want to conclude with one and not overtax your poetic exposure. Keep some for later. But I'm going to end with a Requiem. Helicopter pilot Requiem. Whoop, 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 whoop. The sound of a chopper, lift ships, gunships, or medevac helicopters. The men who flew choppers loved the noise of lift. Vertical flight was theirs. No one else could do it. In the attack or in support, these men were fearless warriors, riding to the rescue, beloved by those below. Our chopper pilot is gone, vertically lifted on high, to join his brothers in the sky. Those who have gone before. Bow your head and reflect on when he was young and daring, when he was brave and steady, when he performed with valor. Say farewell to a helicopter pilot. Say farewell to a son grown brave. Say farewell to a lover and husband. Say farewell to a dad no longer here. Thank you.